Hey team, so in this series we will look at how to use and set up insurance billing inside a Carepatron for the US. So the first thing you want to do is set up your default billing profile. So this is the billing information that insurance payers have about your organization. So here's just an example. The tax information, national provider information, and yes, so you can create or edit one. The next thing we want to do is add an available payer. So this is the insurance payer. And now the next step is really important here. So you want to make sure you're enrolling for the ERAs. So this allows Carepatron to receive ERAs and then reconcile the claim submitted with the payments from the insurance payer. So this is a really important step. Completed, re-enroll. Cool. There we go. Awesome. So it is, so you didn't see it, but it took me to a new tab. I enrolled with the payer and now it's in a processing state. Cool. Now, another important step is to set up all of the services that my clinic provides. So if it's not one of these already, you can click new. Let's just say therapy 60 mins. And it's important here to use the CPT code that you bill for. So I think 60 minutes is 90837 60. It's 120. Perfect. Cool. So, and that's it. So that's it for setting up insurance information for the clinic itself. So we set up our default billing profile, we added payers, importantly, we enrolled for ERAs, and then we set up our services with the correct CPT codes. Cool. Now the final step for setting up insurance billing for the clinic itself is adding NPIs to all of the providers in the org. So just go to myself, add in an NPI there, save, and we're ready to go. Another really important setup step for your organization is setting up the online payment information. This will help you streamline invoices and payments. So let's go to settings, billing. Let's set up payments. Now this is going to open in a new tab. You'll fill out, or in this tab. Cool. This is all just test information. It's fairly quick. Let's do it as a company. Let's go back and grab our EIN information. EIN. Our address. Park Avenue. That's good enough. Fill in all of this info. Okay, some of this business. Okay, and we are ready to go. All set up on payments. And we are, as simple as that, ready to accept online payments. Okay, now that we've set up our clinic for insurance payments and online payments, we need to capture the client's insurance policy information and their preferred payment methods. Now, the easiest way to do this is through our intake process. And another way you could also do it is entering it manually. So let's take a look at what it looks like through the intake process. I have created a folder here called intake info. I will create a client info. Let's create this client information block, your information. So this is a form that will be filled out within the intake process. Date of birth, phone number, 6. Let's add another field here, address. And so this is the minimum required demographic information that you need from a client in order to process insurance. So that's the demographic information. Now, if I add insurance info, there is an insurance policy component, which will capture the policy information from a client. We can add that. You can take a quick look at it here. Let's save that. Cool. And that's it. That's all we need. Now, if we go to the client here, Jonah Smitherin, let's go and send an intake. We will choose client info and insurance info. And then we want to capture the payment method as well. And I will send that off. That will then capture all of their insurance policy info, their preferred payment method to streamline both insurance and online payments, both copay and the insurance portion. Now, the second way to do this is to enter the policy information and preferred payment method yourself. So to simply do this, I go into the client here. Let's add their preferred payment method. So I go in here, new payment method, Jonah, add their card details here, save that. Cool. And then I go into insurance. Let's say they are an insurance paying client. I have all of this information. Let's add a new policy here. Remember to choose the ones that we are enrolled for ERAs. It's the client that holds this. Do this here. Member ID. Add their policy dates in. Cool. Set individual, create. Cool. And now I have just manually added their insurance policy information in. You can see there's some covered services. These are the services that I provide in my clinic. And you'll notice that the copays haven't been filled in yet because we haven't run an eligibility request. But I will show you that next. So now that we have set up all the client's insurance policy information, we want to verify their benefits. And we want to run an eligibility check. There are 2 ways to do that. The first one is an automated fashion that actually integrates with the intake that gets sent out. So that will happen automatically. The second way I'll show you now is just a manual way. So if I go into an appointment and then I click on John Smith's, view his billing information, I can actually request eligibility. Now, this is important because this will run a coordination of benefits across John Smith's policies and tell us for any given service what the insurance payer will pay us for that service, and then the difference is what the client's responsibility is, which is their copay. So how much the client will pay, and then how much the insurance payer is going to pay for this appointment. Cool. So that eligibility report has run. I can click in here and view it. If I close this, now if I go back and view John Smith's billing information, you can see now we have a claimable amount. So if I just go back and I'll show you, if I go to the insurance info for John Smith, you can see these are the services that John Smith are covered for from this policy. And you can see therapeutic activities now has a copay amount of $15. So that's the client's responsibility for the service in an appointment. All right, now that I've set up insurance and online payments for my clinic, and I've captured the payment method and insurance policy information for my client, this is where the magic happens. This is where it all comes together and streamlines billing for the clinic. All right, so Jonah, we have completed this appointment. We have run the coverage report. The coordination of benefits has happened in the background. And now you can see an invoice amount, which is going to be the copay portion of the service, and the amount to be claimed to be submitted to the payer. And what we'll first need to do is create a clinical note, because we'll need to add in the diagnosis information that is relevant to the appointment. So that's good. Let's add in diagnoses here, typhoid, and you should be able to. Now if I save this, complete it, I can actually verify this by going back to Jonah. Go to this overview here, and you can see a condition captured for Jonah. So let's go back to the calendar. We've got that note attached to this appointment here. I go and view the billing information, and I can just quickly go add a claim for the claimable portion here, create. Let's view that claim now. I can quickly go to here and validate it if I want. We are missing the address information of the client. So let's quickly add that in. But this would have been captured as part of the intake. So let's go and add that in here. And then that would also float into the insurance information as well. Let's go here. Cool. Let's save this. We can validate that again. I'm missing the phone number, which again would have been captured as part of the intake had I sent that out and completed it. Let's validate this one more time. Perfect. And now I can submit this electronically. Rendering MPI fails. Right, if I add in a valid formatted MPI here, save this. Now we should be able to submit this electronically, and boom, just like that, it is submitted, and we will wait for the insurance payer to provide an ERA, which is the payment information about the claim, and everything should automatically reconcile. Now I can also go back into the billing information here. You can see the claim has been submitted. I can quickly create this invoice here and use the saved payment method on file for the client. And just like that, everything is paid and squared away. And the ERA, because we enrolled in the beginning to that payer, the ERA will come back and will automatically reconcile everything. And that is billing streamlined, done.